Okay, so let's get into why I started this program, right? It was during the pandemic. I was struggling to help my students, right? They didn't have any activities that they could showcase. Everything had shut down. You know how it was. And SAT, ACT were also optional. So how is it that a student could show their achievements? That's how my research program, my BSMD program started, right? I wanted to figure out what the formula was, right? And after figuring out the formula, how to apply it in a student's profile, right? And it's not an overnight thing. You need to start quite early, right from the 9th grade. Got it? So that's during the pandemic. That's all I did. I was obsessed. There's nothing else I could do. I didn't want to wear a mask and step out. So I was just doing research and figuring out, reaching out to my counseling mentors. There are a few counselors who are experts in this field. I reached out to them and I verified with them. I talked to them and built this whole program. And I started hiring the best mentors. I don't believe that I'm an expert in everything. I may be an expert in a few things, but I believe in getting the best tutors for my students, right? And in my world, it's not competition, it's collaboration. I would just go and ask anybody. That's how I found my essay coach. I was counseling a student and I saw his essay and I was like blown over. I'm like, who helped you with your essay? And he gave me the number. I picked up the phone and I called him and I said, can you please help my students with their essays? Like, of course, you didn't know who I was. I'm an Penn State admissions officer and all I do is essay coaching. I'm like, can you please help my students? He's like, yeah. And we've had such a wonderful association with him for the past 3 years. And he's our essay coach. And all our college essays, the main Common App essay, go through him. He's the GOAT, greatest of all times, right? So that's what my passion is. And fast forward today, these are the results. My students have gotten into Harvard pre-med, St. Louis 8-year program, and I'm going to show you his profile, 125K scholarship, Texas NMed, Augusta 7-year program, St. Bonaventure, Hofstra, I love Hofstra pre-med, Vanderbilt was early decision by my student, UC Merced SJV Prime Plus is a new program which my student got into, NYU pre-med, University of South Alabama, my student got full tuition. And Stony Brook 8-year BSMD program. Okay, so I'm going to dispel all the myths that you have, and I'll give you an insight into this. Okay, and it's my mission to make my students successful. It doesn't matter. I don't judge my kids. And all kinds of kids are welcome. Students who come to me have learning differences. They are on the IEP 504. They have mental health illness. They are bipolar. They have seizures, everything. They're all welcome. There's no judgment. And also, please don't think that you have to be an exceptional candidate to get into specific schools. Got it? So yeah, so this knowledge not only changed my life, it changed my students' lives. The success formula and the exact steps that are needed to get into the BSMD program, and I'm going to share that with you. Okay. Okay, so who here wants to know the success formula? Thumbs up, thumbs down. Yes, who? Yeah, great. Okay, so let's start with the different kinds of programs that are out there. I'm going to start with the traditional one. There's nothing wrong with the traditional one. We always have the traditional plan as the backup, even though we apply to BSMD programs. It is the 4+4, where 4 years you do your undergrad, and then you do your MCAT, 505 is the score that's needed. 515 is the score that's needed for like highly selective MD programs. And then you apply for that and you get into the med program. So the problem with this is you're not assured or guaranteed admission into the med program. And that's what makes students, I'm sorry, mostly parents nervous. Students don't care about it, right? So that's a traditional path. I have students getting in there. So in the traditional path, I recommend that you don't go to an Ivy League or to a very expensive school. You save your money for the med school. Got it? So you go to a school that is not name brand, because MD colleges, when you're applying for the med schools, they're not looking at where your child did their undergrad. Rather, they're going to look at grades. They need an exceptional undergrad GPA, MCAT scores. So they need to have a very good medical counselor in their pre-med, their undergrad program. Got it? They are looking for clinical hours of shadowing. They're looking for research. They're looking for volunteering, and they're looking for those subjects to have been done, like either organic chemistry or all that requirement. So if traditional path is the way for your child, don't go to name brand schools. And also watch out for colleges that have grade deflation. Got it? Grade deflation is a college that is quite stingy in giving grades, right? So if I know students who tell me, oh, I'm going to go to Georgia Tech for undergrad for pre-med. I'm like, Georgia Tech is not a very good grader, right? So it's going to ding your efforts to go into the med school. So it takes a little bit of calculation in that. Got it? So that's the traditional path. Nothing wrong with it. And then there is the early assurance or the guaranteed assurance. There are different names to it. I like the middle path, because you know what? Your child is 17, cannot make that decision whether they want to be a doctor all their life and study for 10 years. So you cannot just put them into a BSMD program, right? I like the in-between, where the early assurance program is you get into this college and you apply for the BSMD program in their sophomore year. Got it? So they have tested the waters. They figure out, oh, do I want to be a doctor? No, I'd rather do research or something like that. You give them some time to get used to it, right? So Case Western is wonderful. They have a pre-professional program. VCU, Virginia Commonwealth University, is again not a traditional BSMD. It is that guaranteed admission. They call it different things, but it's an early assurance program. Got it? There's no guarantee here. You have to go apply there. Got it? So this is the middle one. The last one is the combined medical program. Extremely, extremely hard. It's like a perfect storm. Their acceptance rates are between 1% to 3%, right? Lower than Stanford, right? But yes, why? Why is it like that? Because they're taking in raw children, right? Raw students, and they're investing a lot of money in the program. Got it? The BSMD program is extremely expensive for colleges to run. They need like specialists, they need labs. It's a completely different curriculum, and they're spending a lot of money in creating this program. And there are rumors that very shortly it's going to go away, because a lot of colleges are getting away with it. I just heard Boston University has gotten rid of it. A lot of Florida colleges are getting rid of this accelerated program. They want students to go through the traditional path. Got it? So it's a combining. It's the combined BS and MD. Means once you get admitted into the program, you're assured the MD school admission. But of course, they have different requirements, like GPA requirements. Or if you don't maintain this GPA, you'll be out of this program. It's extremely rigorous. Got it? So the only thing that you have is guarantee. And every college is different. They will say, oh, we need you, even though you're in the program, we need you to have this MCAT score. Okay, or schools like Penn State, they don't have MCAT requirement, but it's almost next to impossible to get into the program. Got it? And that is the difference. Okay, it seems on the lookout, it seems like, oh, it's assured. It's assured that my child will be a doctor. There's no, get into the medical program. There is no doubt, or there's no uncertainty after 4 years if my child will get in or not. So that is the assurance that you get here. Okay, and also please it's not easy to get into these programs, and I'll show you how. Okay, so I want to talk about first the other option that's there. It's the BSDO program, BS or a BADO, and I'll get into it. What is the BS and the BA? Okay, so DO is Doctor of Osteopathic Medicine. Got it? They're fully licensed professional, and it's one of the fastest growing segment. Okay, and you should ask your physician what kind of doctor they are. I asked mine. Mine is a BSDO. Dr. Kalman is a DO doctor. He went to Nova Southeastern. Got it? So that is another option. The rumors are BSDO and BADO are shade less competitive than the BSMD, and they're also a bit easier. Got it? But there's another thing that you need to keep in mind. Unlike the BSMD program, the BSMD is the traditional allopathy or the modern medicine, whereas DO is osteopathy. It's a completely different segment on its own. Got it? It's the osteopathic manipulative treatment, which is like spine based or something, which is completely different, but it's well accepted, fastest growing field. And also a lot of DO doctors, they come back to the mainstream being pediatricians and physicians. Got it? Or they go into sports medicine and all that. So there is a wonderful opportunity for DOs as well. Okay. Now we'll come into the BSMD program. Okay, so it's a direct medical program, like I mentioned. You don't need to go through a separate admission process for med school. So you get into it. Like Sai got into his BSMD program. He's going to be there. He'll finish it either in the 7 or 8 years. There's no kind of uncertainty about it. And of course, the acceptance rate is notoriously low. 1 to 3%, is not even 10%. And also, a lot of schools have a requirement that they will tell you that the students got to be in the top 5% of their class rank. Got it? Hofstra has that. Top 3 or top 5% of the class rank. So they even tell you if you've got a C or something, don't even apply, because their requirement is like that. Got it? So the accelerated programs are typically 7 or 8. Augusta is 7. Okay. And also, if your child has enough AP courses, they can transfer the credit over, just like a traditional program. So I would say, Christina studied with my son in Downingtown East School District. My son graduated with 20 APs. Christina graduated with 19 APs. She went to Penn State, and she shaved off 1 year in Penn State because she had enough credits to transfer. Got it? The AP biology, physics, chemistry, calculus AB, all those credits can be transferred over. Okay, so you're looking at 7, sometimes 8. Okay. Okay, so which medical program are you leaning towards?